Welcome to the third segment of my review video on The Last Mughal Warrior in Love by Aditi Mukherjee. In the previous video, I talked about Aurangzeb's infatuation for the dancing girl Hira and his aunt's reluctance to ask her husband to give away Hira from his harem to Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb didn't take it lightly. He said to his aunt, "Well, even if I have to murder your husband, I'll do so, but I want Hira." When when the Mir Khalil, the uncle of Aurangzeb, and the Diwan of Deccan, Burhanpur, is asked for Hira, he straightaway refused. But as a saving device, he writes a letter to Aurangzeb. Although this is unconventional, you should not ask for some woman from my harem, but I will make an exception, provided you give me Chhatarbai from your harem to me and exchange it for Hira. Aurangzeb doesn't take it very kindly, and he writes back to him, says he does not have to agree to it because Mir Khalil had no right whatsoever to ask somebody in return, but he will accede to his request, but Hira should be sent in his harem in a week's time. Saliha and Mir Khalil are taken aback with this. They take the news to the Emperor Shah Jahan, and a conspiracy is hatched that when the entourage from Burhanpur to Aurangzeb palace, in the journey Hira should be killed by dacoits because there is a dacoity and they plan, and Emperor Shahjahan gives his full consent for this to happen. However, the plans failed, and Aurangzeb's army take over the dacoits, and Hira is saved. The general of Aurangzeb and his friend, whose name is mentioned in the book as Murshid Quli Khan, does not he informs Aurangzeb of what really happened. Aurangzeb promises that he will take a revenge for this. But He marries Hira in a Muslim ceremony, although the book says Hira was Hindu. Emperor is very annoyed and in fact writes a letter to Aurangzeb not to go for the marriage with a Hindu and a low caste, an ordinary girl. Those were the years that the prince's and princess's marriage was ma- mainly for the expansion of the regime, and all marriages had political motives behind it. Akbar married Jodhabhai because he wanted Rajputs on his side. Similarly, Aurangzeb's other two wives were from were the daughters of Muslim nobles who were working in the court, and Aurangzeb to be married to an ordinary woman was not something acceptable to the emperor. However, when the chief priest, the royal Maulvi, gives his mind to Aurangzeb and voices his opinion against the marriage, Aurangzeb said, "It is not his choice. If he doesn't marry them, he will behead the Maulvi." This whole the the situation is very well written, very well covered. All lot of graphic accounts are given as to how the marriage takes place, how the ceremonies take place, and the love of Aurangzeb towards Hira is very well written in the book. It makes a very unique reading. Jahara hatches another conspiracy. He advises the emperor that if you shift the Janana, that is Aurangzeb's two wives and the children, from Agra to Fatehgarh, which was later on known as Aurangabad, if they shift the Janana from Agra to Aurangabad, it could very well be some way a detraction for Aurangzeb. And once he has his family there, they can tame his love for Hira. The book says that in his love for Hira, who make he makes uh, who he gives up his interest in the administration of the state. He gives up reading Quran. He gives up his normal prayers. Doesn't go to mosque. And the Deccan, which was already not a very fertile area, was not very much revenue generating, suffers because the prince priority change. He is in love with Hira. He wants to please Hira, and the state is not of any importance to him. So Jahanara thinks that if she shifts the Janana from Agra to Aurangabad, maybe it will bring out the difference which was really very much needed. It shows the kind of luxurious lives these people were living. The book says about 5,000 people left from Agra to Aurangabad, and these were mainly the supporting staff, courtiers, the concubines, the dancing girls, apart from the two wives Aurangzeb had and his children. The book has described greatly at great lengths about Aurangzeb's daughter Zebunissa. Zebunissa and his son Sultan Muhammad were born from his senior wife Dilsar Banu and his second wife is Nawab Bai. So they talk about Zebunissa, who is the eldest child of Aurangzeb. She is gifted as an artist. She writes poems and had her own library. This shows about how much dislike Zebunissa has for Hira, and she accuses Hira that she took their father and manipulated him. Then at some point there is a conspiracy by by Aurangzeb's wife and daughter Zebunissa to have Hira killed. I come to the end of this segment of this video. In the fourth segment, I will continue to discuss this book. Thank you.